Problem 128. Find the errors in this solution. Explain the author's mistakes and then show the correct solution clearly. Write a note to the author explaining how he can avoid making a similar mistake again. The problem was 4 divided by the quantity of y plus 2 equals negative 3 divided by the quantity of y minus 2. So they started out here, and it looks like they cross-multiplied. They did their negative 3 times the y, and got negative 3y, and then they had plus 6. So immediately right there, this is where the error has occurred. It's the sign on the 6. Let's see if there's another error. 4 times y would be 4y, and 4 times negative 2 would be negative 8. So that looks like that's where the main error occurred. So if he was going to do it correctly, what I would suggest to him would be to take the time to do the step in between to show what you're multiplying. Sometimes when you skip steps, it screws you up. So let's take it here and let's do it the other way. Let's do negative 3 times the quantity of y plus 2, and that should equal 4 times the quantity of y minus 2. So let's just go ahead and jot down what we think that they should do. I'll write a nasty little note after we're done. Negative 3 times y would be negative 3y. And negative 3 times positive 2 would be minus 6. 4 times y would be 4y. And 4 times negative 2 would be negative 8. And I'm going to take it here just to be different than this guy. I'm going to add my 3y to each side. And I've got negative 6 equals 7y minus 8. I'm going to add my 8 to each side. So I've got 2 equals 7y. We divide each side by 7, and we get 2 sevenths is equal to y. So we see that they had an error there. Theirs worked out nice and clean, but it wasn't correct. So let's take it now and let's see. Show the correct solution clearly. I think that's pretty clear. If you could see that there, the work. It says write a note to the author explaining how he can avoid making a similar mistake again. We could say, hey, dear author, I would say show more work so you can catch your mistakes. And if he's not going to show more work, and sorry, my marker's nice and thick, so he won't be able to read it anyway. If you wanted to, he could have plugged it in to make sure it worked, right? You can always check your work. 4 over, if he would have put his 2 in there, he would have had 4 over 4, and he would have seen that is not going to be equal to 2 minus 2. That would have been negative 3 over 0, which is not true. That is not equal. So he should have checked his work. Should we check our work? Let's do it. 4 over, we have 2 sevenths plus 2. That looks fun. And that's supposed to equal negative 3 over 2 sevenths minus 2. Well, 2 is the same thing as 14 sevenths, so what we really have here is 4 over 16 sevenths. And that should actually end up equaling negative 3 over 2/7 minus 14/7 would be negative 12/7. That looks fantastic. So if we multiplied here, let's see, we could get rid of our fraction in our fraction, or we could just cross multiply across. Either one would work. Actually, that looks more appealing to me. Let's do this. 4 times negative 12/7. If this is truly a proportion, this numerator times this denominator should equal this numerator times this denominator. In this case, 4 times negative 12/7 should equal negative 3 times 16/7. 4 times negative 12 is negative 48/7. And so is negative 3 times 16/7. That would be negative 48/7. So we know we're correct. Oh yeah. All right. I'm just going to finish my little note here. Love, Mr. Boyd. Smiley. All right. Problem 1-128. Hopefully you found the mistake. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you find your mistakes on your test, right? Yeah.